Hello and welcome to our review of the Christmas season. Well, the first movie of the Christmas season, Violent Night. Now, will this be the movie that breaks the David Harbour curse? Well, let's see what everybody's thoughts are. I will be going first. So, this is one of the few movies I cannot for the life of me understand why people dislike. The only thing I can think of is that scene from Hitch where the fucking snooty contrarian guy says it's disgusting to everything. People hate it because it's a good fun time. Don't worry, they'll get a lump of coal shoved up their ass soon enough. On to the review, though. I thought the acting from everyone involved was good enough. Carried scenes and whatnot. The little girl, Trudy, was good. She was adorable as hell and showed the true power of the Christmas spirit. Alex Hassel as Jason luckily didn't get C4 shoved up his ass and did a pretty good job. He was one of the few likable adults as well as Linda, played by Alexis Louder. Beverly D'Angelo has made her second appearance in a Christmas movie after many years of age and horrendous plastic surgery as Gertrude. She played a good bitch, but a bit more balanced than the sister and her family. Speaking of, Eddie Patterson, Cam Gigandet, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, and Alexander Elliott are all love to hate assholes as the groveling and snooty douchebags trying to get money in some sort of part in Gertrude's company. I think they were good with what they were given. All the henchmen were fine, did their jobs properly. Then we get to the best characters in the whole movie. David Harbour as Santa Claus and John Leguizamo as Scrooge. Even though Leguizamo is kind of a dick trying to seek relevance outside of his movies, he's still a great actor and he delivers a great and funny performance here. Then Harbour as Santa Claus was just fucking perfection. He might be one of my favorite Santa Clauses, period. Just the brutality and awesomeness he gives and showing a man with more experiences beyond his years was very well executed. Honestly, I would love to see more of this version of Santa in a sequel or even a prequel. Even though Harbour keeps picking shit movies, he always manages to be great in them. The action is just as great in other movies that Leach or Stileski has been a part of, whether that be the John Wick movies, Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Nobody, Bullet Train, and a couple others I'm probably missing. It's bloody, brutal, and at even times hilarious with how ridiculous and over the top it was. Bloody as fuck and once again brilliantly choreographed. The jokes were also really good too. My dad and I were howling in the theater and having a grand old time. So many great lines throughout from everyone, not just Harbour. Then we get to the story. Excuse me. It's nothing new. Mix Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Nobody, and Home Alone in a blender, and that's essentially this movie. We get the same type of lines, over the top action, funny and sarcastic hero, and that kind of thing. Now, is it as close? Now, is it as good as Die Hard? Fucking fuck no. Not even close. It's like Diet Die Hard. But I'll take that over whatever shithole comedies, drama, and rom-coms pop up this time of year. But I feel like you could show this to the people who bitch and whine that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Those assholes would be having a tough time trying to say this isn't a Christmas movie. Checkmate, motherfuckers. So, it's light on story, but it has some decent development and some good scenes outside of the action that builds the characters, mainly Trudy and Santa. If I had anything bad to say about it, is the scene that just straight up rips off Home Alone was really dumb. The twist was pretty predictable, and maybe a couple scenes that could have been taken out entirely. But honestly, that's kind of it. I had a hell of a time with this, and this might become one of my favorite Christmas movies. I'll take alternative Christmas movie and Hallmark schlock any fucking day of the fucking week. With that, I give this an 8.5 out of 10. Rob, I now bring this to you.
Okay. Well, let me state that when I saw the trailers, I thought it would be more of like a batshit insane movie about Santa Claus being a badass. It'd be like, if the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen meets Die Hard. When I first saw it, I thought it was fine, but then more thought about it, it was starting to enter more mad territory for me. I'm not saying the movie is bad, but I think there's a lot of things a lot of things I had going against the movie. Let me state the positives first. This film is shot very well and does have a gritty tone that the film is going for. David Harbour does a really good job portraying Santa. He has a great talent, and it sucks that outside of Strange Things, he has to star in crappy projects. I'm looking at you, Hellboy 2019. I also like the idea of Santa losing his humanity and his Christmas spirit. He isn't the happy-go-lucky, jolly person that the media portrays him. He too is vulnerable and just acts like every other person. Also, the scenes where Santa acts like a badass is awesome. These scenes are easily the highlight of the film. Sadly, this is where my positive has to have to end. First of all, let me say that the pacing is awful. There are so many scenes that just drag constantly, and there are moments I was just so bored. Anything involving the family is just uninteresting, and I just didn't care about this family and their struggles. And speaking of the family, most of them are very unlikable and act like assholes throughout the movie. They reminded me of the unlikable family from Krampus, where they are difficult to root for. Some of the family are also very obnoxious. I hate the annoying teenage cousin who I'm sure will make people from Gen Z feel embarrassed. And maybe somebody here can confirm that. I don't know. I'm not Gen Z, so he is always talking about social media trending. It's just talking like 2010s. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of annoying. And I'm also not a fan of the mother who just wouldn't shut up. The humor is more of a mixed bag. I will admit there are moments I did laugh at, like when Santa's always going through his magic bag and just try to find a weapon, and all he can find was video games. Like, I'll admit, like scenes like that were pretty funny, but there were also moments I did not like. I'm glad that outside of like that annoying kid I mentioned earlier, and maybe some Home Alone references, I'm glad it didn't resort to like a lot of cringy, dated references. But I will say I could have done without any of the juvenile humor, without all the shit jokes and things like that. Overall, this film is more of a mixed bag. It's passable for me. I don't hate it, but I would be lying if I said I liked it. If you really want to watch this movie, just wait for it to be available on streaming. You don't need to go to the theater to see it. And my final rating is a 5 out of 10.
Now we have Mark with us, but he will be going last.
As always.
Zach will be going next. So take it away, Zach.
All right. So I'm probably going to tick a few of the James Cameron fans off when I say that this was my most anticipated movie of December. I'm excited for Avatar 2, but I was just excited for this more. Going into this movie, it looked like, as far as the humor and tone was concerned, that it looked like it was going to be a I don't give a fuck type movie. And I love that because, today's PC society, people getting offended over everything. So they always got to censor shit in movies. So I really missed actual comedy and just risky jokes. So it looked like this movie was kind of going back to that. And I am proud to say that this movie delivered on that and more. David Harbour was excellent as Santa Claus. And I didn't mind the family being so unlikable. I felt like it was fairly balanced out with the ones that were likable, with the ones that were snooty bitches. And then if I had any real negatives, I would say that the movie could have been bloodier. It had freaking gore. It had gore to spare, like the freaking star to the eye, and then freaking Santa plugs it in, electrocutes the guy's ass. That was great. I love the way it ended with just Santa regaining his faith and then just goes off into the ether. So oddly enough, another one that I don't have much to say about, even though it may be one of my favorites of the year. So it's probably the best killer Santa movie I have seen since Silent Night, Deadly Night. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give Violent Night an 8.5.
All right, so excuse me. When I saw the trailers for Violent Night, they got me excited. The idea of a badass Santa Claus fighting and killing a bunch of mercenaries just sounded awesome to me. However, after seeing the movie, in the words of Mr. Horse from Ren and Stimpy, no, sir, I don't like it. I don't hate it by any means. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just didn't care for it. There are positives for this movie. Mainly, I loved David Harbour as Santa. I like the idea of a Santa losing the Christmas spirit, losing his faith in humanity. I liked the idea that he was of him being a Viking. Like Santa as a Viking just sounds so badass to me. I liked the relationship he had with the little girl. How she helps him regain his Christmas spirit back, and she was one of the few likable characters in the movie. I liked their scenes together. I liked when she was going home alone on the mercenaries, and I think the third act is great. Just seeing Santa go full on badass, taking out all these guys one by one with a fucking sledgehammer it was so cool. It saved the movie from being the third act saved it from being a bad movie. But unfortunately, I do have issues with this movie. Mainly that lineup with Rob. The characters are really unlikable and obnoxious, especially the annoying cousin who's constantly on his phone bitching about social media and shit, and the fucking and his mother, who is an obnoxious bitch who wouldn't shut the fuck up. It was every time they were on screen, it fucking annoyed me, and I hate how by the end of the movie they don't learn their lesson. I don't mind an unlikable character unless you give him an unlikable asshole character if you give him some charm. Look at Homelander. Homelander's a fucking piece of shit, but at the same time, you kind of love to hate him. I don't love to hate these people. I just hate them. And it sucks there was no character growth by the very end, where they start off as assholes and by the very end they learn to not be so horrible, which even though I hated, like, for example, in Krampus. I may not like the characters in Krampus, but at least throughout the movie they were slowly starting to get better and learning how to care for each other. I didn't get that with this movie. The mercenaries I did not find to be very threatening. Yes, they were all good, especially John Leguizamo. He has a lot of funny moments, but they just don't stand out for me. The two burglars from Home Alone were a lot more memorable than these guys. A lot of the humor doesn't work for me either, especially all those really juvenile toilet humor jokes, like Santa pissing while he's riding his sleigh, him stepping in reindeer shit, and him puking on somebody when he's drunk. That's not my kind of humor. Even in stuff I like, when there's those kinds of jokes. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. They just don't work for me. And Santa, and what sucks is, like, for like the first like 2 acts, and don't worry, I am wrapping up. Santa does spend most of his time just running away and cowering, and getting his ass beat before he eventually decides to fight back. And I thought that was kind of lame. And the pacing of the movie is awful too. It dragged constantly, and there were points where I was bored. In conclusion, Violent Night is far from the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen. It just wasn't for me. The stuff I acknowledge that is good, but it could have been a lot better. But if I want to watch a good Christmas action movie, I'll watch Die Hard or Batman Returns. I'd say stream it. and I'd give it a 5 out of 10. All right, Mark.
Okay, then. Bad Santa did it better. I have yet to be impressed by anything David Harbour has done outside of Stranger Things, at least since the show began, and this film sadly did nothing to change that for me. It's not all bad, and parts of the film are actually quite good. The action is well done for the most part. John Leguizamo makes for an excellent villain with some sympathetic goals. Beverly D'Angelo was on point as the unlikable matriarch Gertrude Lightstone. Unfortunately, that's about all the praise I can muster. First, David Harbour was rather bland as Santa Claus, at least to me. He's great in the action scenes, but things get pretty dull when he's not cracking skulls. A film like this rises or falls by the lead, and I feel he didn't quite get the job done when it calls for it. He's not bad in the role, but he doesn't really stand out either. I like David Harbour, but sadly I'm starting to think he just doesn't have the charisma to be a leading man. Second, the plot is uninteresting, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing in a movie like this, except neither the unlikable characters nor the lame juvenile humor are good enough to carry the film through the dull spots, leading to some pacing issues. Again, unlikable characters in and of themselves aren't necessarily a bad thing in a movie like this, as long as they're used in a humorous way. But when most of the jokes fall flatter than my feet, they just become annoying. I don't even mind juvenile humor per se, see my Bad Santa recommendation above, as long as it's good juvenile humor. But this ain't it, Chief. The director, Tommy Wirkola, stated in an interview that they purposefully included every trope they could in an apparent attempt to satirize the genre, which could have worked, but the writing just wasn't there, at least in my judgment. Instead, it comes across as a pretty standard Christmas film with a slight twist, making the whole thing very predictable. It never really draws you in, so the end feels unearned. All of this makes for a very uneven film. When it's good, it's good. And when it's bad, it's very bad. Skip it and rewatch Bad Santa instead. And my rating is a 5 out of 10.
Why do I have a feeling we're going to get Phantom Zoned?
Yes.
No, it's. I mean, the thing is, I thought you guys would give it worse ratings the way you were talking about it. I'm honestly surprised, Mark, that you gave it a 5. I fully expected you give it to like a 4 or maybe like a 3.5 with the way you were talking about it.
Yeah.
So like 5, I'm like, sure, 5, I'll take it.
I mean, five's not a bad rating.
No, I mean,
Exactly.
the action's not bad. I mean, the action's really good. I love the
Yeah.
action. I
And
just
come
thought
on,
that when there's no action, it's just dull and annoying, So
I don't know. I found it to be interesting. Because I feel like there was a point to him cowering at first, though. I mean, John McClane did that in the first Die Hard movie anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
And the fact there was a reason for it. He was Santa. The thing is, Santa, he was afraid to become what he was. That was the whole point. There was the reason why he was cowering. He didn't want to fully embrace that side to him, like the Viking Nick. I forget what his name was, Nicolond or something like that. The red
like
or
was,
something. He was like afraid to do that, but then when he slowly realizes that he needs to save this kid, he needs to save this family, then he ultimately decided to make that turn. Like Trudy giving him that speech of like, "Hey, you need to start cracking some skulls," and he's like, "You know what? Fine. If I have to do this, I have to do this," and he did it.
I didn't mind that part so much. It's just that there was nothing to carry the film through those parts. I mean,
come on, Devin. The puking joke was hilarious. I think
I didn't. I will say I didn't like the puking joke. The thing is, him stepping in reindeer poop. I will say that that's barely hits that's like not even the worst poop joke. Like I thought the way he got so angry was funny. Not that he stepped in poop, because
very unprofessional.
Stepping in, that was funny. Like him actually stepping in poop. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's him. But it's not even close to comparable. Like something like the Jeff Daniels pooping scene in Dumb and Dumber or something like that.
That wasn't even funny either.
Beyond stupid. That's when I if it's like fart jokes will always be funny. I don't care what anybody says. Fart jokes are fucking hilarious.
But here's
And
the
then-
thing. What did it for me with
like-
that scene was that he sees the sleigh in the sky, right? And he's passing by, and you think it's gonna be a whimsical scene, but then come on, that was
like
fun.
I kind of like how it did that. I don't really like throwing up humor or piss humor. It just I will say like they were chuckle worthy. Like, but the thing is, all of those were in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. All the pee joke, the poop joke, and the puke joke, those are all in like the first like 15-20 minutes of the movie. So it's like I feel like that's like kind of not showcasing all of the humor, because for the most part, from what I remember, like a lot of it wasn't juvenile. Like I feel like that was
like I said,
humor is subjective. I can't force you to think it's funny, you know.
Well, I mean,
it's
there's
like
seem to be going the bad, like I said, the bad Santa route with the humor, trying for that kind of.
I feel like that's a bit of a weird comparison. Like it's like I'm not like denigrating that or anything. I just feel like, well, I mean, Bad Santa isn't an action movie though. It's a black comedy.
No, but I mean,
This
as
is
far
more
as
of
the
an
humor
action.
goes, and as far as
Okay,
Santa Claus who has lost his, even though he's not the real Santa Claus, the Santa Claus who has kind of lost his any faith at all in the Christmas spirit, you know. So I mean, but winds up finding it at the end. Of course, I mean, you have that kind of. And the humor, that seems to me they were going for that for the humor, but the humor in Bad Santa, I just couldn't help but compare to the humor in Bad Santa. Bad Santa was a hell of a lot funnier.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple comparisons you can make to Logan.
What?
I just love the story template of a broken person getting back into it again, you know, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I like that part. Yeah, like Santa just starting to be more human and just starting to lose his Christmas spirit. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I like that.
I like that. And it's funny how almost in a weird sort of way when I was watching it, like, yes, the Die Hard comparisons are like endless. You could fucking pick apart every line and action.
I will admit,
and thing that's like the same to it. But I will say that the thing that's interesting about it, it almost weirdly reminds me of the original book with how there's more shade of gray. So yes, at the end of the day, they're robbers, which was in the movie, instead of terrorists, which were in the book. It was kind of like shade of gray because it's more like Hans Gruber is mustache twirling evil, and we love him for it because Hans Gruber is fucking awesome. Because the thing is, Alan Rickman makes it work because he is a legendary and amazing actor.
R.I.P.
Yes,
But with this, I feel like weirdly, like I remember Mark was saying in the group chat, like you felt more for Leguizamo than the family, and that kind of weirdly, like it's sort of like a more of a shade of gray thing, and I kind of wish they went into that more because it's reminiscent of the book. The book, if you don't know, Nothing Lasts Forever, which Die Hard is based on.
Speaking of
where
John Leguizamo,
where it's
one. Oh, sorry.
I'm just gonna finish this thought real quick. In the book, it was like the company that they were working for, not it wasn't Nakatomi in the book, it was the Klaxon Corporation. No, not the same as the Marvel company, I think it was in the Marvel comics, but they were like a dirty business, like they did a lot of like illegal shit behind the scenes, and that's why like the claims that Alan Rickman was making in the movie were actually true in the book. Like Klaxon was like this dirty corporation doing like underground dealings, like stealing money and all that shit. So like the terrorists were more like shade of gray, like they were actually trying to like showcase the problems with this company by being like, you know, like showcase, and like it kind of it wasn't exactly like it, but it was like kind of reminiscent of that, and I kind of liked that, and I do wish they kind of went into that more. But at the end of the day, it's a simple action movie, so of course they couldn't, you know, go into it more.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, speaking of John Leguizamo, he had a line in this movie that reminded me of one of my favorite movies, Christmas Skies Tonight.
I was laughing so hard in the theater when I fucking heard that. I'm like, oh, no wonder Devin hates this movie. So
You're in danger. Devin here is about to come through this internet connection and strangle you. And I wish I were kidding.
When he's like, Christmas dies tonight, I'm like, oh shit. Devin's gonna crack some skulls almost as bad as David Harbour.
I had
No. Just
Oh
Hey, hey,
god,
hey,
that was so
what about
funny.
you?
No!
No!
Oh god, it was so funny.
Oh, jeez.
that had to be intentional. I mean, come on, it's a Universal movie after all.
What's the surprise me if it was? It doesn't make it less stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, it's a stupid line, but I was just laughing my ass off because I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, yeah, going back to that, I honestly sympathize a hell of a lot more with John Leguizamo's character than I did the family.
Yeah.
I hope he gets the fucking money. Jesus Christ. Fuck these assholes.
Did you like the movie?
Yeah, John Leguizamo is great. I mean, even though
He's always great, yeah.
I mean, he's fucking annoying outside of his like, oh, fucking Mario should be Hispanic because reasons, and it's like
when he's
shut the
not
fuck up, John.
Mario and Luigi Mario.
He's not
When he's
Hispanic,
not-
he's Italian.
when he's not.
I know, but he's like, I played him. I'm Hispanic, and I played him, so Mario should be Hispanic. All right, fucking narc, shut the fuck up.
when John Leguizamo isn't doing Ice Age, he's good.
What are you talking about? John Leguizamo was great in Ice Age.
Well, the later sequels at least.
Well, I mean, the later, I don't give a shit about them. I just care about the original.
Same here.
Yeah, same here.
I like
The
the
really not
first.
that great to begin with.
Yeah, I like the first three.
The first one was hilarious. I mean, come on. I mean, John Leguizamo was the best part of the first one. Dear God, he looks back and sees that ice.
I don't
mountain,
know.
he's like, no thanks. I choose
Dennis
life.
Leary. Dennis Leary as Diego was pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't know. John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
He had the
So,
best line
I
in the
don't-
film for me.
I'm Sid the Sloth.
When he sees the big ice mountain that they're supposed to have to climb up, and he's like, "No thanks, I choose life," and turns around and tries to walk away. I'm like, shit. I've been using that ever since. Like, fuck this.
Yeah, but I don't know about you guys. I didn't mind Trudy using the Home Alone tactics against
Also,
those-
here's the thing.
They did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Let me talk.
And then I need to talk. Yeah. Okay,
So-
go on.
Because I mean, she's a kid. She's seen this before. She figured why not try it? And it was cool
Yeah, but
seeing
I
the,
feel like-
seeing the
but-
guy get hit. It was cool seeing the guy get hit with fucking bowling balls, and he gets the nail through his chin.
I'll say this
That
about
was
it.
awesome.
That was
I'll say this about it because here's the thing: is that I mean, even though I do love Home Alone, let's be honest, those traps would have easily killed both Harry and Marv.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
and I do like how it's like they showed the two people coming
This is
up to attack them. It's
basically-
like they die. They don't get back up. They die.
It's basically like realistic Home Alone.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
in a
like I
way.
said, I mean, he included all of that shit just for
Yeah.
Like at least with like Die Hard, you'd be like, okay, you can like it's general, like you could pick apart a couple
Yeah.
lines here and there. But the fact that they like almost grind the movie to a halt just to have this scene, like parodying, satirizing, ripping off, whatever you want to, tributing Home Alone. It was just like, okay, like we get it. This is like other movies.
The only
Like,
thing
come on.
I wouldn't have done is that she did not need to verbally reference Home Alone. She's like, I'm gonna make these traps like Home Alone. It's like you don't need to verbally put it out there. It's like we get it. We know what this is gonna be. So
Yeah,
you-
because they do mention early on in the movie she just watched Home Alone.
Yeah,
You could just say, "Look, I'm gonna build these traps." Like we get it. We saw it in the earlier in the movie. She saw Home Alone. We know what she's inspired by because literally everybody fucking knows Home Alone.
Yeah.
So
Home Alone's one of my favorite.
you don't need to say
Christmas
that.
movies.
I like what you're saying, Zach. Like that. That's a fair point. Remember, as Devin likes to keep saying, show not tell.
Oh,
Thank you.
did that bug you guys too? That she actually had to verbally reference that it's Home Alone.
I don't know. To me, this is a minor point because honestly, I enjoyed the scene.
Yeah, I mean, I like the
I
scene.
enjoyed
It's just like
I feel like it's like It could have been a little bit better. Could have been a little bit more organic.
And I
and
actually
into-
read
put into the
somewhere,
movie.
and this would have made the movie so much funnier if this is actually true, that they originally wanted Macaulay Culkin to play John Leguizamo's role.
That would have been fucking funny.
Huh.
That would have been
That
really
would've been
awesome.
funny as hell. Yeah.
But I will say, like I did say this in my initial review. I mean, I gotta ask. I know you guys didn't love it as much as me and Zach, but like, who wants to see a fucking prequel with David Harbour as a badass Viking, fucking murdering fucking people? Like, come on, that's got to be fucking awesome.
I mean, I'll say that
With
David
better
Har-
writing than
David
David
Har-
Harbour.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know if Mark's gonna be upset with me saying this, but I would say that even though I was kind of meh on the movie, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a prequel because David Harbour is like in Santa Claus. That's like the best part. So
This is honestly one that I'd like both a prequel and a sequel for.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to see like more of these.
In
But
fact-
another question. I literally just thought of this. It is. I am curious for if you've seen it or not. If you haven't, then this is kind of moot. But does anybody here seen and prefer Fat Man? Because that's essentially the same movie.
I never saw that movie.
All I know. The only fat man I know is that Skip from the Weird Al show.
Okay. Because Fat
I know
Man.
what the movie is. I just haven't seen it yet. But it looks.
Because it's been on my list for a while. I'll probably finally see it this year. But it's essentially a similar movie. But it's in Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, and this kid gets a lump of coal in his stocking, so he vows revenge on Santa Claus. So he hires Walton Goggins to fucking take out Santa Claus, and Santa Claus, who I think is like, I don't know if he's retired or like just like it's the off season. I forget which one. I think he's like retired. And so like Walton Goggins with this group of mercenaries fucking go after him, and he has to defend himself very similarly with like overly violent things. And because it's a similar thing, I thought maybe if you guys saw it, so maybe for the people out there in this review and not, maybe if you didn't like this movie, watch Fat Man instead, since it's a very, very similar type of movie.
You know, I don't. Yeah, this question pops up in my head. Like, so, like Santa decides to go go defend the family because Trudy was on the nice list.
Yeah.
If she was on the naughty list, would he have just up and left?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
that would have been funny though.
You're on the naughty list.
Bye.
I want that to be a Robot Chicken sketch or something.
That would be funny.
Not
Yeah,
so
that-
much
that was
Saturday
something.
Night Live anymore, because I feel like their comedy has been too censored themselves nowadays. Again, because of the whole PC culture.
Yeah. I can kinda
You
see
PC,
that.
bro?
Oh my god.
You see, that's another reason why I fucking cherish anything South Park that comes out, because they do not conform to those offended little bitches that are always spouting their shit. Because you should be able to make.
And I mean, they just like fucking just make fun of everybody. That's kind of like what it's reminiscent of, like Bill Burr too. Like he makes fun. He's like, if you can get both in one shot, if you can get both sides and offend fucking everybody, then you've won. Like he was going on this thing. I like, this is just gonna be a quick like mention, but like where he was like, when the presidential election before this one, infamous one, he's like, yeah, fucking Trump is such an idiot, he would actually make me vote for a fucking woman. Like, it's like when you get both sides, it's just it's perfect. You gotta get everybody, because then
I love Bill Burr.
you'll be like,
Yeah.
if you get one side, the other side will champion you, and then when you make fun of them, they'll throw you the birds. Like, you gotta get everybody. You always gotta get everybody.
And that's part of why I loved this movie so much, is that the humor, that they weren't afraid with the humor. You know, they weren't afraid of offending anybody.
Yeah. Although it is funny, Devin, that you mentioned Homelander, but since Translucent is Jason.
I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
But yeah, I didn't realize that until after I saw. I'm like, oh shit, that's translucent. That's why I mentioned in my review. Like he
Oh,
didn't get
shit.
C4 up his ass.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Dude, that newest season of The Boys was fucking crazy.
It was.
Oh, it was.
good.
It was really good though.
it was
I
my
know
least
it's-
favorite season, but it was okay.
I like every season equally so far.
Yeah,
That
I
was
do too.
probably
That's
my
me too.
favorite, yeah.
I don't know.
And again, that's another one where where they don't give a fuck with the humor and they're not afraid to offend anybody.
Well, speaking of humor, that plenty offensive. I was going to ask about everybody's favorite Christmas movies, not specials, but movies. I was going to say Bad Santa is pretty high on my list.
Mm.
Especially the older I get, the more cynical I get. The more I love that film.
I don't know. If I had to pick 5, Polar Express has always been my favorite. That movie's just stuck with me ever since I was a baby. Home Alone 1 and 2. I love those ones. Christmas Vacation, Elf. And you know what? I'm gonna put Fred Claus in there. I actually really like Fred Claus. There's a lot
Um,
Yeah,
more
for-
than I like, but yeah.
I mean, my favorite will always be "It's a Wonderful Life." Like it's such a classic, and it's just like I love the ending. And, it just works for me. Like it's just one of those movies that like it works on. Like I've been watching it for so long, and it's like it deeply affects me, and it's like a deeply personal movie for me. That it just works. And then of course you got like the alternative Christmas movies like Die Hard, Black Christmas,
I love Black Christmas.
I love Christmas Evil. I think Christmas Evil is really good. And then like Home Alone 1 and 2 are ones that I watch. Elf is another good one, as Zach mentioned. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like I like
For me,
I don't mind like traditional like Christmas movies, but I'm more of a fan of alternate Christmas movies, like stuff like this,
Yeah.
because it's just like it's more interesting, you know. It's just like it's not the same like
For-
schmaltzy Hallmark crap, you know.
Yeah.
right?
Gotcha.
I don't mind a Hallmark movie every now and then. I'm just really picky with which ones I watch.
My mom is so obsessed with them that I'm just like,
Oh, my mom
like,
is
kinda-
too. Those are
is like
so-
kind of tired of like on our fucking like DVR we have like 15 Hallmark movies. It's like
Oh yeah, my mom does
There
that
could-
too. She'll record all the Hallmark ones, but I don't mind. I'll watch them with her.
Could be a lot
if
worse.
she-
They could be
if she
Lifetime
finds
movies.
Yeah,
happiness
they
in
could
it,
be.
it's like-
That's something to
it's kind of
say.
weirdly creepily obsessive in a
I
way.
think well, go on, Devin.
I was gonna say it could be worse. They could be Lifetime movies, but
Yeah.
for me, some of my
Or
favorite
Great
Christmas,
American Value movies. As
Yeah.
that's
some of my favorite Christmas movies. I love It's a Wonderful Life, Batman Returns, the original Black Christmas.
the
I say-
only Black Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Did I say Elf?
Sure.
Yeah, Elf is
that one.
Elf is one, and I love
I've also heard Arthur Christmas is very
Arthur
good.
Christmas.
Arthur Christmas,
is
yeah.
amazing. Love Arthur Christmas.
Yeah.
I didn't
Arthur
see it for
Christmas-
so
For me-
long because I assumed it was like stupid, like crappy, you know, like Christmas movie, like a shitty kids movie. But then everyone's like, "Oh my god, Arthur Christmas, it's so good." I'm like, "What? Since
For-
when?"
for me-
So that's
I-
on the list. too.
I really
for
like
my-
Arthur Christmas. Yeah, I
Hold
really
on.
like Arthur
Zach.
Christmas.
Zach. Right,
Jack.
dude was first. So let him.
I
talk.
was just gonna all I was gonna say was like I was gonna name some of my favorites, like Christmas Vacation, Home Alone 1 and 2, Elf is a great one. It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, the original, obviously.
Somebody mentioned it. I
Yeah.
would say it's one of my
Um,
favorites, but it's very good. I really.
Oh,
like it.
I love it. Yeah.
I respect Miracle on 34th Street. I won't say it's one of my very favorites, but I mean, my favorites will probably be well, you'd already done my favorite. Though. You'd already know I love A Christmas Story. I know you
Oh,
hate it, John, but I will always love it.
Same here.
I mean, I was a kid when I saw it and it held up. Another one that didn't so much hold up, although I did really love it when I was a kid, was Santa Claus the movie, more of an obscure one from the early 80s.
It would have been interesting to see John Carpenter direct that. That would have been an interesting movie.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, that I do.
I
Oh,
mean, hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Vacation, of course. I fucking love that one. Bad Santa. And there was none that I was trying to think of I couldn't remember. But Yeah, other than the Christmas specials, of course.
Yeah, Christmas specials like Rankin Bass, like
Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass.
Yeah.
Charlie Brown.
Santa Claus
Charlie
coming to town.
Brown.
I love. I'm
Not a Santa
also
Claus.
Rudolph
also
the Red-Nosed
fan of
Reindeer
Garfield.
was a
I don't know if
must
they-
every year, along
I
with
don't know if
Charlie
it was-
Brown and the Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Grinch. I remember somebody at work.
How the Grinch stole Christmas, I should say, not the
How the
fucking
Grinch stole Christmas.
movie.
Yeah, I
Not the
remember.
2018 Grinch.
I was.
Fuck this 28. Fuck this 28.
I
I
was
don't know
at
if they
work.
necessarily count as Christmas specials, but you know me, I'm a Thomas guy, so the Christmas holiday themed episodes from like the classic series, I kind of put those in there too. I
If
get
you're
some
gonna-
of the atmosphere out of
If
it.
you're going to throw that in, then I'm going to throw in the holiday episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Then I'll
Oh yeah.
and I'll
with the
throw
Joker
in
singing
and
the
I'll throw
Batman
in
Robin song.
I'll throw in the Twilight Zone Christmas special, Night of the Meek. I'll throw in the
Night of
Billy
the
and
Meek,
Mandy
that's an
Christmas
amazing
special.
episode. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
I'll throw in the Billy and Mandy Christmas special with Gilbert Gottfried and Malcolm McDowell, and I'll throw in the Woodland Critter Christmas.
Yes.
Wait, the Antichrist? I thought you meant the Son of God.
The Star Wars holiday special.
Yay!
You really think? But think
That's
about
what you want, you little shit. Fine.
But think,
Wait, what did he say?
We don't mention that on this stream, Mark.
I didn't even hear what he said.
but hold on,
The Star Wars.
Good.
holiday special.
Shush.
guys. But guys,
Well,
hold on.
I do. Somebody had to do it.
But think about it. Do you really think God would have sex with the porcupine?
I think that might be my favorite. I think that's also my favorite South Park Christmas special.
So good.
Even though I do like the Mr. Hanky ones too.
I didn't know that you
My
know
favorite South Park Christmas episode was whichever one the Black Friday one was, like, kiss my fat vagina.
Oh, that's the one where they were also parodying Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the same one that had the "Don't touch me, Elmo" joke?
Oh
Now-
yeah.
Your deck's in my closet.
So
And mine in your closet.
I acknowledge this movie is not good, but I do watch it every year. I acknowledge the Jim Carrey Grinch is not a good movie. It's not.
I like it.
But it's a
Oh.
guilty but it's a guilty pleasure just because I watch it every year because Jim Carrey just makes that movie. He is so good in that movie. He just
And I did want to say
Same
this because
here.
after literally everyone fucking cut me off, you can all shut the fuck up. Don't make me play the clip. I did want to say when I was at work one day, this was a couple days ago, I was like, I heard some of my coworkers talking. They're like, "Oh yeah, I love the Grinch," and my friend who also works there like asked, "Oh, which Grinch?" And she's like, "Oh, there's only one Grinch, and it's Jim Carrey." I'm like, "No, there's
No.
only one Grinch, and his name is motherfucking Boris fucking Karloff."
Thank
You
you.
can shut your whore mouth if you believe anything else.
Did you
Thank
actually say
you.
shut your whore mouth?
I didn't
But
say
I'm-
that. I thought it.
Human
But-
resources.
I would have.
But I mean,
know
I
you
would.
would
that's
have,
just
Mark,
me.
'cause you're old. You don't give a fuck anymore.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I'm
told
lucky.
you,
I'll-
I haven't reached that point yet. I still care
I
about
have.
my well-being.
I literally told this to I literally said that to a female classmate I had in high school when she said that I was wrong for liking Halloween 2018. I literally said in front of the teacher in class, I said, "You shut your dirty whore mouth."
Damn.
To the teacher.
Hold
I would kick your ass.
No, I didn't say it to the teacher. It was a classmate. It was during class. The teacher was there.
Oh.
I just said it.
Oh, well, that's not. I've
Hold
heard
on.
worse.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, and I smacked her across the face too.
Wait, what?
No.
Okay, that's a lot.
I was gonna say,
Zach be like,
I don't give
A fuck.
The views
Hold on.
I
thought of my other one.
opinions. Go ahead.
I thought of my other one. No, go ahead. You're going to do the disclaimer. Go ahead.
The views and opinions of Zach Axiola do not reflect the rest of the views of the cool kids.
no,
Yes,
it
we do.
reflects my views. If somebody needs
Yes,
to
we
get
do.
hit, they need to get fucking hit. Fuck them.
Now I didn't really hit her, but I did say it.
Okay.
But I did really say it though, because the teacher was there. It was during class. I guess it was before class was starting, but everyone was kind of coming in. So, and she said, literally said something, basically saying something lines of, "You are wrong for liking this movie," and all that, basically. And I literally said, "You shut your dirty whore mouth."
Well, okay. Well, I thought about another movie.
Go on.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, actually, there have been a bunch of movies made by this. A Christmas Carol, but specific version I'm thinking about is not the most well regarded. That would be the one with oh, you know what I'm talking about.
George C. Scott.
George C. Scott.
Yeah. No. George C. Scott is the one I'm thinking of, but that's not the one that's most highly regarded. I'm
Wasn't
talking
there
about
one with
the
Patrick
old one. The old one that's most highly regarded is the old black and white one with what's the English actor, John? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Guy
I
who
know
was-
the movie you're talking about. I've
Is
seen
that-
it. I've seen that.
Yeah,
movie.
it was
I forget
The one
what
with Alistair
movie-
Sim?
Alistair Sim. Yeah, Alistair Sim. Yeah. But I mean, the one I grew up with was George C. Scott. Like I remember when that movie first
But
came
we
out.
all know
I'll
the
be
best
up.
Christmas Carol is the Muppets Christmas
Muppets.
Carol.
That's what I was
Now,
going
I
to
was
bring
about
up,
to
John.
say-
I feel like the George C. Scott.
Now we
I know that. I mean, almost all Christmas carols are like really fucking good.
Oh, they are.
But
Yeah.
like Muppets is like the go-to because it's
I
like
will-
okay,
Yeah,
you
it is
have
great.
fucking Michael fucking Caine
Kane.
acting
true.
opposite
Michael
Muppet.
Caine.
Like what?
Mark,
like
okay.
Michael
what
Caine.
pipe dream did this come from?
Yeah,
if
really.
we count the Muppet one, can we also count the one with Bill Murray? Wink.
Scrooge. Yes.
I have
That's
not
very
seen
good.
that one. I have not seen that.
That's surprising since I know we know how much you love Bill Murray. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah.
just-
I
Yeah,
mean,
because for me,
there was
outside of
actually a
those-
time I was kind of didn't like Bill Murray, and
Oh, that was after
kinda tired
Groundhog
of
Day, right?
yeah, that was after Groundhog Day. Exactly.
Okay, that's
So,
understandable. But
yeah.
Because outside of Ghostbusters, Scrooge is my other favorite thing Bill Murray ever did.
yeah,
That's fair.
I
A
will
lot of
say
people.
the
I know a
only-
lot of people love it. So,
I will say I love Scrooge. I think Scrooge is a great like Christmas Carol adaptation. I would say the
Yeah.
only thing bad about it is the Ghost of Christmas Present. She is way too fucking annoying. Like outside of that, like it's great. Like she's
Yeah.
unbearably fucking annoying
That's-
though.
Which one?
For Scrooged.
Oh, okay, Scrooge. But I mean, my favorite will always be the George C. Scott one because
Yeah.
that's the one I grew up with.
Although I have
I'll
also
always-
heard
literally
not
because
a
it came on
movie.
TV when
I
was
have
a
heard
kid.
that Batman Noel is a really good adaptation of it.
That is a really, really good
Yeah.
adaptation. It's really good. It's excellent. I think I have that as a matter of fact.
So
But,
we've talked about some of our favorite Christmas ones. How about like worst ones?
Christmas
Mm.
Story.
Surviving Christmas. Fuck that
Don't
movie.
at me.
Wait, John, what'd you say?
Christmas Story, Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation. Don't fucking at me. And if we're counting it,
Phantom
Batman
Zone
Returns,
yourself.
just fuck Batman
Phantom
Returns.
Zone yourself.
But Phantom
No,
Zone
I'm not Phantom
yourself.
Zone myself because, as we know, I need to play the clip.
I'm a god.
Christmas Story 2 for me is the worst one.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I did not need to remind me of that. Jesus.
Oh, you know what's another bad Christmas special? Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa.
Oh my god! Yes. That one is so.
Hey guys, what
I
about
have-
Kiss
I-
Saved Christmas?
I did not even know about that one until I saw the Nostalgia Critic
Wait,
review it.
Mark, what'd you say?
What about Kiss Saves Christmas?
Oh, Kiss Save Santa.
Kim says Santa.
I brought this up. I brought this up earlier. Like the 2018 Grinch, that one was really bad.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't like Illumination. Another one, 8 Crazy Nights.
That's a Hanukkah movie.
That's more of a Hanukkah one, though.
But they still,
I
they
actually
still bring
like
up
it.
Christmas in it. It's
I've
still,
heard that one.
it's still a holiday
Shit.
movie, and it sucks.
I actually like that movie, but then again, that's more towards nostalgia. We just had it on DVD, and I watched it a lot.
There.
Yeah.
So you find deer eating shit.
It's guilty pleasure, though. I'll admit it's guilty pleasure. I can just still watch it. But yeah, dude, fuck. What are some of those I was gonna mention? Oh, the Christmas tree, that really awful animated
Oh, yeah.
special, and then of course,
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
yeah, and then of course, say it with me. Grandma got run over by a
Over by a
reindeer.
reindeer.
No,
Yeah, that
I,
one-
I never
that one
saw
was
that,
bad.
thankfully. I never saw
I don't
that.
hate
But,
that one. It's not. I will say the animation is bad. It's like bad Flash animation. I will give it that. I find it
Yeah.
enjoyable. It's dumb,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
But if I like it,
I don't mind the animation. I just think the script and dialogue throughout the entire special is 100% garbage.
I
But-
forgot about one of my favorites. I have to mention. I know we're on the worst, but I mean, I was going to say one of the worst. Any Hallmark Christmas movie. Sorry, Zach, but they're all the fucking same. But
Guys, Rob has something to say.
I was also like I said, I was also I mentioned I don't know if anybody ever saw that movie Surviving Christmas with Ben Affleck.
Why would you watch it?
I was 15 at the time. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but like you couldn't have been that fucking stupid.
I was with my parents at the time.
You make no sense. It's red.
But yeah, but for real though, another really bad one is A Christmas Story 2. And you know what the sad thing is?
Christmas Story 2 and Christmas Vacation 2. Both are terrible.
There's a
Because
second Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, there is with
Randy
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah, but the thing is, we only had the second one on DVD. We didn't have the original Christmas Story for the longest time. I had already seen it. I had already really liked the movie, but we only had the second one on DVD. Which I'm gonna do some shameless HBO Max plugging. Thank God for that new sequel.
Yeah, that was surprisingly fine. Not great, just fine.
I forgot about one of my favorite irreverent Christmas movies, A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen.
Funny as fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
I
If you love
like the first one.
you love this.
The first one is almost so bad it's good, but I feel like there's enough like genuine nature to it that it makes it like genuinely funny movie. Carol and Kumar Go to White Castle is fucking funny.
Yeah,
I'm actually curious though. What was it with Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation that you don't like?
I just don't think like I remember watching A Christmas Story because that was like around the time when like the 24-hour marathons are like starting to become more of a thing. So I'm like, you know what, let me watch A Christmas Story. I watch it with my family and I'm like, this is stupid. Like it didn't help that like there was like the scene where like the kid's eating like a pig and I'm like, I wanted to puke during that scene and like just none of it felt like genuine. It felt like it just like, you know, it's funny that you guys talk about like hating unlikable characters, yet all the characters in A Christmas Story and A Christmas Vacation are so fucking unlikable that they're not love to hate. They're just the worst assholes, and I fucking hate all of them, and I wanted them to fucking somehow die by the end of the fucking movie.
But that was the point. You love to hate them. The thing is,
I don't love to hate them. I just hate them.
I don't see where everybody is an asshole, and I don't see what you're talking about with A Christmas Story. I could see it with Christmas Vacation, but with Christmas Vacation, like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as it's funny. It just wasn't funny in Violent Night to me. None of them were funny. They were just going to fuck.
I didn't like Ralphie. He was an annoying shit. I didn't like him. The brother was also annoying. The dad was kind of a dick, and the mom was like, I don't remember her much of her character anyway.
The mom is not a dick. The dad is a dad. The dad is
my favorite dad.
Exactly. The dad is my favorite character. You used up all the clues.
But it's
when
just
you start cussing like that, and, oh my god!
It's just like A Christmas Story. It's just like, and the thing is, what I think the thing I hate about it, like Christmas Vacation, it's bad because it's not funny. It's just like literally, like both my sister and I were like, it was same thing with The Christmas Story. Like both of us were like, okay. Both of us have had like people we know or friends we knew that were like, oh my God, this is one of the funniest movies ever. We watched this movie from beginning to end and we didn't laugh once. We were like watching it in disbelief. We're like, when does this get funny? Like, this isn't funny. Like, what the fuck am I watching?
I can't put my arms down.
Is it funny that that's even my favorite of the Vacation movies, even above the original?
No, not at all.
No,
most people like Christmas Vacation the most. But the thing is, I hate about A Christmas Story. Maybe this is like dumb to some people. For me, it's like anger inducing. It's just like, I understand he's a kid, but like it still like perpetuates a really terrible message for people. Sure, he's a kid, but like it just like it doesn't feel right. The fact that like literally the movie is about bitching and whining long enough, you eventually get what you want. and
Oh,
it's
come
like
on.
that's like really like that's
Come the
that's the
fuck
message you're
on.
gonna give. It's like, come on, like no,
Oh,
no.
come on.
I
Are you
think it's
really
a genuine like bullshit
Are
message.
you really
Like,
going full
it's a
Karen on a
bullshit
Christmas
fucking
story?
message for kids.
Are
Or
you
for
really
anybody.
going full Karen on a Christmas story? Fucking really, John? I mean, come on.
I'm not going Karen. It's just like, oh, you bitch and you whine
Oh,
long
yes,
enough.
my whole
they fucking get
generation
what
was
you want. That's
ruined. We're all
literally
traumatized.
the fucking
I guess we're all spoiled brats now because we don't want Jesus Christ.
Dang it, man. Now I'm out. Now
Oh,
I'm out of
God.
wine. Now I'm out of wine.
It's a fucking shitty ass fucking message.
Jesus Christ, it's about a simple gun he wanted to
Yeah, it's a gun. First of all, like really?
It's a
means a
BB
lot.
gun, for fuck's sake.
This is
Christmas means a lot when you're a kid, and
Yeah.
and you feel like the world is in the balance. Like you want this one specific
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
but
He's not being
consider
a
yourself
brat.
lucky.
He's being a kid.
Exactly.
Consider
What
yourself lucky.
did he bitch and whine about? He slipped an ad for it in his mother's magazine. He he wrote an essay about it. He asked Santa for it. I mean, shit. That's
What?
all he
It's something
did.
he wants.
Like
So
did
it
he,
was perpetuated like
I guess
over
when
and over
he-
and over and over.
Of course, that
are
was
you
the
talking
whole.
about? Are you
what
talking about the
movie was
ending
about.
where he? Are you talking about the ending where he breaks his glasses and he fakes an icicle? Fight. An icicle fell in his face.
No, it's just like that's what I got. That's what I got from the movie. It's like this kid bitches and whines, and he eventually gets what he got, and then he gets fucking payback for being.
That's a
annoying.
grossly over bad movie summaries. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody call the bad movie summaries Reddit. Jesus Christ.
Now I'm out of wine, and this was the good stuff too. This was the white wine.
You already finished that
Dry
whole bottle?
wine.
Well, not the whole bottle. There was half left, but
Show me the way to go home, everybody.
Well, I'll just say this: the fact you didn't find the way you didn't find Christmas Vacation funny, I did not find this funny. I didn't find a single thing in it funny.
Before
Not hardly any of it.
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I don't know where we're gonna wrap up, but try this classic on for size. The Snowman.
Yeah, that's fine.
Frosty
I
the
kind of
Snowman?
find it weirdly depressing though. Like,
It's really sad, but
Frosty
the animation
Snowman
is
is depressing.
the
no, like,
animation's
the-
great. It's just
the
like
Snowman.
it was one of those
Oh.
movies where it's like, or specials, I should say. I
don't
watched
think
it
I've heard of
once and I didn't want to watch it again. It's just too sad.
Oh please!
Wait.
If you think that's sad, just watch When the Wind Blows, which is the other thing he did. But I think it's
Wait a minute, this is
beautifully
called
animated.
Snowman. Where can I
Yeah.
watch it?
But it's beautifully animated. The song "Walking in the Air" it sounds amazing. The fucking snowman flies. I want to go on an adventure with a flying snowman.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. Like
Yeah.
I don't hate it. It's good.
Where can I watch this?
Maybe you'll be able to find it on YouTube or
Yeah,
something.
you could probably find it on YouTube.
Wait, so it's just
Hey,
called,
John.
it's just called The Snowman.
Yeah, The Snowman, 1982.
John, I know who else I was thinking of in that Scrooge role. Not just Alistair Sim. There's another one, Reginald Owen, in the 1938 version.
All right, The Snowman. The Snowman, 2017, starring Michael Fassbender.
I don't know
No,
which. I might have
1982.
not watched. I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm kidding. I know it's on there. It's about 25 minutes.
Although I
right?
did want to watch, hopefully sometime this year, I did want to watch the FX miniseries with Guy Pearce that came out a couple years ago. I heard that was pretty good.
My ex-wife honestly should be on this train because, dear God, the woman loves.
And I know. Yeah.
Like like her favorite is this very, very obscure 80s Christmas movie called The Night They Saved Christmas, made for TV movie.
You know,
Elf was one of her favorites.
Mm.
Fucking Jack Frost, like too.
Which version?
well,
The one with
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it a little weird that the very first, like some of the first movies I remember ever seeing in theaters were like like Christmas movies or something?
We need to get some love for Fred Claus.
Because the thing is that I don't remember this at all because I wasn't even a year old. But my mom had told me she took me to see Christmas Vacation in the theater, but I have no memory of that. But I do remember watching Home Alone 2 in the theater. So
God, we haven't mentioned one of the very best.
Fred Claus.
No,
Die Hard.
No, fuck Fred Claus.
Die Hard.
Right here before Christmas.
yes,
What the fuck? Working with Christmas and a Halloween movie. That's the best thing about it.
Best of both worlds.
Exactly. I mean, it's a great
Henry,
transition here.
Henry Selick's A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, exactly. It
Henry
literally
fucking
starts on
Selick.
Halloween
Henry
night.
Selick.
Literally starts.
You
on
can't go wrong with him, man.
Dude,
You can never go wrong with him. Huh?
I don't hate it. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm more of a Corpse Bride guy. Like that's where I lean more towards. But I still love A Nightmare Before Christmas.
You know what? Since you do like Henry Selick, Zach, I would recommend watching Wendell and Wild on
Please watch Wendell
Netflix.
and Wild. It's amazing.
It is great.
And like I was saying though, I
Alright,
may
let's
lean
try
more
to-
towards.
Try
I
to
lean
end
more-
this.
Yeah.
You'll get out the rest of your thoughts. Let's try to end it.
Yep, I lean more towards Corpse Bride, but I do love A Nightmare Before Christmas just as much.
Okay. All right.
But
Final
we
thoughts.
kind of reached our hour. It was mainly just the first half was Violent Night. The rest was just talking about other Christmas movies.
Then again, that's what we did with Strange World. It's like half of it was just the review. The other half was like favorite animated
That
movies.
movie, by the way,
It's the
that
cool-
movie
Yeah.
is-
So
The Cool
You
Kids
know,
Christmas special, everybody.
I was about
yeah,
to
this
say,
is
yeah,
as
this is
close as
cool
you're gonna
Kids
get to a
Christmas.
Christmas special.
Yep.
So
Fuck
There
Strange
you
World,
go.
by the way. That movie just got worse for me. It is now on my worst of the year list.
okay, but that's it for now. Some of us liked Violent Night, some of us didn't. At the end
And,
of the day, watch it or don't. We don't care. Watch Fat Man
and-
too, or just watch Die Hard.
Okay.
Watch
And stay
Flesh
tuned.
Blood.
And stay tuned next week for our Cool Kids review on KitchenAid Whiskey Jones channel for our review of Avatar: The Wank of Cameron.
Yeah.
On go watch.
Do we
Red Claws,
have
that is
to?
overrated.
Do we have to? Can we just skip?
Yes.
Yes, we
Never-
do.
you
Yes,
never-
because I have not hosted one in a long time. So
Yeah, I was
redo
gonna
it.
say.
Yeah,
Mark needs
let's
to
work
listen.
on that.
Yeah, you never bet against James Cameron unless it's
Never.
Veronica.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And remember, kiddos, it's time for some seasons beatings.